Imagine clearing out your garage, cleaning up the back veranda, or reaching under the eaves of your roof on a warm afternoon, only to freeze dead in your tracks as you spot a strange, ugly structure cemented to the wall. It looks like a crude, unsettling cluster of dried mud, or a row of long, rough clay tubes baked solid against your property. Your immediate evolutionary reaction is a sharp spike of pure panic. Your heart rate skyrockets as you visualize an aggressive, swarming nest filled with hundreds of furious, venomous wasps waiting to erupt and viciously sting anyone who steps too close. Your survival instinct demands that you immediately smash this eyesore into dust with a long broom, spray it down with high-pressure toxic chemicals, or scrape it away before it becomes a hazard to your family. But that defensive, emotionally driven panic is a staggering, profoundly uneducated mistake. Not even close. That oogie, silent lump of dried earth is not a launching pad for a dangerous swarm, and it poses absolutely zero threat to your household. While you are staring at it with intense suspicion, that structure is actually working as one of the most effective, self-contained biological traps ever designed by evolution. It is a high-tech fortress of isolation. Beneath those crude layers of packed mud lies an astonishing top-secret storage vault that contains the completely neutralized remnants of your property's real, hidden dangers. Far from being a breeding ground for pests, this silent structure is a historical testament to an elite, precision clearing operation that has already made your homes significantly safer. Before you is a flawless piece of biological engineering, and the moment you crack open the terrifying secrets locked away inside these custom-built clay tubes, your entire understanding of household safety will be completely turned upside down. Think about that for a second. The exact piece of ugly mud you are preparing to violently knock down with a mop handle is actually a sealed, secure biological safe, locking away the most venomous predators hiding in your dark corners without a single drop of toxic human chemicals. To fully conquer this deeply hardwired backyard phobia, we have to strip away our collective terror of stinging insects and confront a staggering biological reality. The architect behind this mud fortress has absolutely nothing in common with the aggressive territorial yellowjackets or hornets that ruin your summer picnics. This structure belongs exclusively to the mud dauber, a highly specialized solitary wasp that operates under a completely different evolutionary playbook. Visually, she looks like a terrifying high-tech weapon of war. She boasts an impossibly elongated thread-like waist, an ominous matte black or striking black and yellow coloration, and a massive, sharp stinger designed for clinical precision. But this intimidating exterior is a profound biological illusion. She is not a social insect. She does not belong to a collective colony. She answers to no reigning queen, and she does not possess a swarming hive mind. She is an absolute lone builder, a solitary craftsman executing a quiet, independent life cycle right on the outer perimeter of your property. This introduces a monumental, highly reassuring shift in defensive behavior that completely guarantees human safety. Because the mud dauber lacks a communal nest filled with vulnerable larvae and a defensive army to protect, she completely lacks the evolutionary drive for territorial aggression. Social wasps attack humans because they interpret your presence as an immediate existential threat to their entire colony. But the mud dauber has no colony to defend. Her clay tubes are simply individual incubation vaults, and once she seals them, she frequently abandons the site completely. As a result, her aggression level toward human beings is practically zero. You can stand less than a single inch away from her while she is actively building, watch her process her materials, or accidentally walk right past her path under the roof eaves, and she will completely ignore your presence. She will never initiate a strike, she will never chase you across the yard, and she will never sound a chemical alarm to rally a swarm. She uses her venomous stinger exclusively as a precise surgical tool for hunting, not as a weapon of domestic terror against mammals. She is an entirely non-hostile, self-absorbed contractor that views humans as nothing more than large, static geographic features of the landscape. However, maintaining this peaceful, independent construction project requires an extraordinary level of architectural dedication, turning her daily routine into a masterclass in heavy-duty structural manufacturing before she can finally convert these silent clay bunkers into a high-tech storage facility. To build this heavy-duty tactical bunker, the mud dauber must execute an exhausting, multi-day manufacturing process that demands a staggering level of physical precision. She does not use silk or chew up wood pulp like ordinary social insects. Instead, she sources raw geological materials, hunting for the perfect wet clay along the margins of dirty puddles or rain-soaked ditches. Using her powerful jaws, she meticulously scrapes up the dense mud, rolling it into a compact, perfectly round, spherical ball. She then hovers back to your property, carrying this heavy payload entirely by herself, and goes to work on your wall. With a mesmerizing high-frequency buzzing sound that matches the precise vibrations needed to shape the wet earth, she spreads the clay with her mouthparts, laying down smooth, structurally flawless layers. Day after day, she repeats this brutal transit routine until she has assembled a series of long, hollow, cylindrical chambers that rapidly bake into rock-solid earthen tubes under the summer sun. But the most breathtaking, deeply unsettling aspect of this construction project is the hidden evolutionary drama occurring right behind these dry mud walls. This structure is not a peaceful room designed for sleep or shelter. It operates as a highly advanced, climate-controlled biological canning facility. Inside each dark, sealed chamber, the Mud Dauber introduces a chilling preservation technique that keeps her resources perfectly intact for weeks. When she captures a target, she does not deliver a sloppy, fatal strike that would cause the body to decompose within a couple of days. That would ruin the entire long-term cultivation cycle. Instead, she delivers a hyper-targeted, surgical sting directly into the insect's main neurological command centers. This venom does not kill the heart or ruin the organic tissue. It induces total, permanent motor paralysis. The victim remains entirely alive, breathing slowly and keeping its internal fluids fresh, but it is completely stripped of its ability to move a single joint. The Mud Dauber systematically stacks these conscious, immobilized captives into her dense clay vault like living, fresh rations, ensuring her future offspring will have access to a pristine, uncorrupted protein harvest that never rots. It is a brilliant display of clinical predatory efficiency, converting a simple pile of backyard mud into an impenetrable biological safe designed to isolate a hostile harvest right outside your back door. Once these secure preservation chambers are structurally sound, this solitary contractor launches a high-stakes, hyper-targeted clearing operation across the absolute darkest corners of your property. The primary mission of the Mud Dauber is the systematic liquidation of spiders. While social wasps hunt for general garden caterpillars or sweet nectar, this specialized predator aggressively scours the deep interior boundaries of your attic, the crawl spaces of your basement, and the dusty voids behind your garage shelving. She is actively hunting for the hidden arachnid populations that humans actually dread, specifically focusing on web-building, comb-footed spiders, including the highly venomous and lethal black widow. This is a spectacular, high-risk tactical deployment that takes place completely unobserved right under your roof. The Mud Dauber does not wait for these predators to stumble into the open. She deliberately breaches their territory. Moving with absolute fearlessness, she flies directly into the dense, chaotic silk networks woven by dangerous spiders. This is an environment that would mean immediate death for almost any other insect, but for the Mud Dauber, it is a calculated hunting grid. She uses a brilliant provocation tactic, deliberately vibrating the silk lines to mimic a trapped, helpless victim. The second the resident spider rushes out from its retreat to claim an easy kill, the trap springs shut. The Mud Dauber utilizes her superior reach and speed advantage to execute a flawless kinetic strike, pinning the spider down and delivering her clinical, paralyzing injection in a fraction of a single second. The chemical takedown is total. She then lifts the completely immobilized, living arachnid into the air and flies it straight back to her rock-solid mud facility. She does not stop after a single capture. The Mud Dauber systematically packs up to 20 individual paralyzed spiders into a single, narrow clay tube, cramming them tightly into the dark chamber like a collection of frozen statues. Once the storage requirements are met, she deposits a single egg directly onto the abdomen of one of the captives, hovers to the entrance, and uses fresh, wet clay to seal the heavy structural door completely shut. By sealing this vault, she permanently isolates dozens of dangerous predators from your home's ecosystem, rendering them entirely harmless behind an unyielding wall of baked earth. When you look at your property through this updated lens, the old narrative surrounding this ugly mud structure completely shatters into dust. A row of dry clay tubes cemented beneath your porch or roof eaves is not a dangerous hornet yuli, a household hazard, or a launching pad for a hostile backyard swarm. It is a premium, high-density biological graveyard for spiders, an unyielding earthen safe, and a clear visual sign that your home has just been thoroughly scrubbed of its most dangerous, venomous arachnid predators. Where our uneducated ancient fears see an offensive clump of dirty soil that needs to be destroyed, natural selection recognizes a masterful, self-contained containment facility. Once those thick mud doors are sealed, the architectural process is finished. The single larva will quietly consume its preserved harvest inside that locked vault, transitioning into an adult and flying away next season without ever causing a single moment of disturbance to your daily life. Your instinctive wave of sharp, defensive panic when spotting these rough clay pipes is a completely natural human reaction to anything built by a wasp. But before you react blindly, raise a heavy plastic broom and aggressively smash this structure into the concrete. Take a slow breath and respect the magnificent, silent security contract operating right on your wall. You are standing in front of a brilliant, non-aggressive master craftsman that completely lacks the drive to sting you or defend her territory. She has single-handedly cleared your dark crawl spaces, attics, and baseboards of hidden biting hazards like black widows, locking them away permanently in a rock-solid prison of baked earth without using a single drop of toxic human chemical spray. The next time you clean your garage and come across this remarkable clay fortress, lower the mop handle and leave the chemical insecticides on the shelf. Suppress the primitive reflex to obliterate this brilliant, self-contained biological shield, and let this harmless mud castle remain in complete peace as a testament to nature's invisible cleaning force. If this high-stakes deep dive completely reframed the way you view the architectural wonders hidden on your walls, hit that like button and subscribe. Nature never deploys a highly specialized tracking engineer without a flawless protective blueprint. And sometimes, the ugly lump of dirt you want to scrape away is the exact shield keeping your entire household perimeter safe from the dark.